So one of the questions is that people are asking, of course, will I get high? Does it have any type of mind-altering substance in it? Is there anything that I should be concerned with as it relates to a psychoactive material in our CBD product?
That's a good point. And so maybe just to backtrack briefly, something that I've been with for over 2 years now, as I go about and I research science, that's what helps me want to tell you this whole Tom Senior about this. Because as they discovered the receptors back in the 90s, they found out that they worked on an endocannabinoid system that our body produces in our own body, produces cannabinoids to help us achieve homeostasis, the ability to feel in our food and have our system run correctly, because that's the neurotransmission. It brought it to the epitome of what it should be, so that our body overall is extremely good balance. So as I saw more and more of this, being in Utah and our family, very conservative area, very conservative in our family, our beliefs, the first thing I did is I thought, oh, yeah, marijuana. But the questioning part of my scientific side is like, why is this powerful? And then they saw as they were developing different things for seizures and epilepsy, and I saw the real benefits of what were happening with these children that were found in medical marijuana were also found in industrial hemp. And I say also found because marijuana and industrial hemp are not the same thing. It's just like when someone says, hey, you have headache. You want Tylenol or ibuprofen? Well, both of those work for the acetaminophen on ibuprofen. They both work differently. They're both different molecules. The same is true with marijuana and industrial hemp. They have different components with the plant, and they have similarities, but they are very different, very unique. Marijuana, very high in THC. Industrial hemp, almost non-existent. And so now to treat a level of that way, how can be used as one benefit people? And so I guess the answer to your first question is, are they the same? Absolutely not.
So, Tom, let me ask you this then, and maybe I can backtrack a little bit, but when you talk about, and maybe there's an opportunity to talk about it right now, but when you talk about the way that it reacts inside the body, you just talked about that it has all kinds of other facets or factors in the body, just like acetaminophen or ibuprofen or whatever it may be. Can you delve into that just a teeny bit so that people understand maybe this broad or full spectrum approach to the body? And maybe I'm jumping into an area that you might have hit on.
Achieve that. So we're always trying to find balance. We have mechanical failure, breaker leg, we're calcium vision. We have different health concerns. We love koi because it's adaptogenic, it helps balance in our system. Everything that we do in our lives, we have inflammation that occurs in our joints and our muscles, tissue. We're being assaulted by free radicals. Our body is always trying to overcome that. Well, one of the, we're to say, electrical systems in our body are our nerves, and they work off neurotransmission just like a light. If you can't turn the switch, you can't turn on the light. If you can't turn the switch, you can't turn it off. So you need that mixture of work and fire and be at its optimal performance. So what they found is that CBD receptors sit on this neurotransmitter. When they have a molecule attached to them, and your body is producing cannabinoids to do that, the problem that is the fact that you don't always have enough of those. And so inflammation can increase, digestive problems, a myriad of other symptoms come out of not having enough. Well, what happens with our body is like nutrition. We try to get calcium from milk, them another form of antioxidant and time. So there's scientists for I'll probably never again in my life. I've seen it happen once or twice. So much exposure to an ingredient because it has such a huge effect and a positive response that if you are selling the quality product at the right price point, opportunity lies there. I guarantee you there'll be more people who will find success into the millions of dollars over the next 36 months by having the right product. Going back 2 years ago, this is what I started. And honestly, with all the legislation and federal laws, state laws, FBI background checks, I've gone through fingerprinting, everything else, I honestly didn't think it would come to fruition like it has. And here we sit with a fully legalized medicinal formulation, well, I shouldn't say that, a full spectrum, which was your original question when we started this, full spectrum product, because there's 3 classifications when you go out there. Actually 4. You've got the scammers that are selling hemp oil, and they tried to jump in before it was legalized to try all the science was out there, and they confused the market. And over 70% of the people aren't confused about this. Is it marijuana? No. But a lot of people think it is. Does it have CBD? It has hemp on the label. The reality is almost 80% of them do not have CBD. And most of these have never even been legalized within the states that they're manufactured. So navigating all of these twists and turns brought out a product. I have a good, better, best scenario. CBD isolate is good, and that was where the first discoveries were made. And that takes a portion, about 2/3 of the known CBD molecules, because there's over 80, and some studies even just over 100 of the variations of CBD. The CBD isolate takes in 50 of those. You go to broad spectrum. Broad spectrum takes in a little bit more of this. But full spectrum has all the terpenes, acids, and polysaccharides, plus all of the CBD that's there. And that's where the real benefits go.
So let me ask then just a question real quick. And Tom, if you wouldn't mind maybe speaking up just a little bit. I know you're up the canyon up at the house, and by the time the phone lines reach the bottom of the canyon, it tends to be a little bit quiet. But so one question a lot of people have is, so can I get high? Can I actually feel a psychoactive effect from our CBD oil? I mean, our CBD tinctures.
Well, Aaron, I hate to tell you this, but no. You're not going to get high. It would cost you thousands and thousands of dollars to buy enough of it to do that. With that being said, there is a trace amount of THC that's there. The state law is that it has to have below 0.3 milligrams. That is an extremely small amount in the bottle. To get high, you would have to have many more times that in a formulation.
So with that being said, then people have asked, what if I take the drug test or get drug tested at work? Is it possible that I may test positive for THC by taking the Sisel Safe CBD?
Well, it depends on a couple of things. It depends on how sensitive the test is, how much you're taking of this material also, and how frequent. So the best scenario is to talk to your doctor, talk to your employer, testing agency, and tell them what you're doing if you're concerned about that. That's the best way to do it, because like most oil-soluble substances, it will build up a certain amount, and it will release. And so you've got to remember these tests are so sensitive. They're about the anagram a sensitivity on the test about 10 to the negative 9. So they're very, very sensitive. So yeah, it's best to talk, because with full spectrum hemp extract, you get all of the benefits. But if you are a larger person and you're taking 50 milligrams a day, that after you've been on it for a week, there's a good chance that you would prove positive. Would you prove that you had a high amount in your system? No, you won't, because you won't have that in your system, but you could, where it's just an indicator to show up present. Yes, you can show that.
Okay, so another question very quickly. So a lot of people, and this is a question I've received over and over again, a lot of people will say, well, my CBD product is cheaper than the one that Sisel has. How would you combat that? What would you say?
Well, I would say you need to get on Dr. Oz, and there's been all kinds of Fox News, I know, did a big study on it. 80-90% of them have no CBD to claim. This is where the scammers have come into this market, because they see that the thing is going to grow to be huge over the next 36 months. It had stock in any type of companies would be the kind to have right now for the next 3 years, because it's going to grow. And so you have majority of all of them that are scamming, and so they can ask whatever price they want. If they're into $2 a bottle, they can sell it for $4 and double their money, claim that it has everything. Reality is most of these products are not registered, and the states now are asking out. The federal government has said it is legal. Now the states are out there finding how to legalize this and what you should do. And I met with the Department of Agriculture here over a year and a half ago on how we're going to do this and how we're going to have transparency. And so majority of the products don't have that. In fact, when I was in Pennsylvania, I had people come up to me and said, I've been taking a product. The first day you launched it, I tried your product last night, and today at lunch, I can see a world of difference. And I've been on this other product for many months or even years. And so with that being said, it also, tells you that there's a good chance a lot of those don't even have CBD. Law of averages said they probably don't. But then also is the form. Yours have the highest form of bioavailability. And so soft gels and capsules and other forms do not deliver like the tincture does in this type of formulation.
Okay, so here's an interesting one that's come up is QR codes. Of course, we use it for transparency. It's easier for people to get to the nuts and bolts and the deep, dark details of the product. Some people will say, well, how come my product doesn't have a QR code on it when so many people talk about kind of the, not necessarily necessity, but if you really want to be transparent, you should have a QR code. What would you say to people on that note?
Well, I can tell you, here in Utah, I can go down on Main Street, Springville right now, and find 3 locations selling CBD that do not have a QR code. Well, the first thing is, it's not legal in the state of Utah. But all of the regulatory agencies are taking a drink from a fire hose right now, because all the scammers are out there trying to dominate this market. But with the QR code, when we met with the Department of Ag, and there were 13 of us on how to do this, we need transparency. We need third-party validation. We need to show that we are below the legal limit of THC for one of the things. But we need to show people what we have in terpenes and what we have in CBD and the amount that we have that. If we tout, we have 500 milligrams or 1,000, or even like we do, 1,500 milligrams per bottle. We want people to see that, and we want people to see that it's been tested not only in-house, but by a third party. So that's why we have the QR code. Scan it with your phone, you bring it up and see what is in that bottle.
So one thing that you've already mentioned, and again, I certainly appreciate these answers because the questions that we're getting hammered with because it's a hot product that's now starting to spread very, very quickly across the U.S. But one of the other questions is, and I know we've already touched on this, but if you could just touch on it so that people can hear it directly from your mouth. Is Sisel Safe CBD made in the USA? And we already know the answer to it because of our incredible manufacturing facility. Your comments about background checks and FBI fingerprinting and background checks, et cetera. What would you say to that?
Well, I would say you're right. It is cheaper overseas, and for good reason. You're not sure what you're getting. And so, yes, I have gone through the interview process. So we're purchasing everything at this point out of Colorado. We're actually going to start growing some on our own ground. And so I've interviewed one farmer numerous times, and we talk every couple of weeks, and Thomas talks to him, and we've interviewed him and analyzed his soil, plants, his genus, where he gets his stock, actually growing his own start, gone through that from the dirt to the plant to raising it, make sure it's organically grown, process facility. We legalized the manufacturing facility. That was a big step that we have. And then we have registered our product and have third-party transparency through that. And so it is a U.S.-made product, and it's regulated and scrutinized through every step from when it goes into the ground to where it goes into the bottle.
So on that note, when we talk about that, and of course, folks, we're going to get out a great video that will give you a little bit more of an indication from the start of the production process all the way back to where they grow in the grow facilities, all the way to the point where it hits your doorstep. So just so you know, that's something that you'll see coming out very quickly, a little bit more depth on it. But here's a big question, because of course we have these tinctures, and if people don't understand, tinctures is a dropper that you put in your mouth, put it under your tongue, put it on your tongue, etc. Some people will say take a drop a day, which is really not the case. How much should they take per day, Tom?
So it's based upon an average person weighing about 150 pounds. And so typically, like I say, it's very few products that meet the if standard. If they have a product that is valid, it does have CBD in the amount they say, about 25 milligrams a day is a good dose. Now, for me, I like 50, but I'm bigger than that, and that gives me a better effect. And I sleep better with it. I have less joint pain, back pain. That seems to be a lot better for me. But it's averaged on about a 25 milligram. That is one dropper, and you'll see it's graduated. You can see that as 1 mil. And if it's in one dropper, it contains 25 mg of CBD.
Okay, so now the next question that obviously pops up is, can I give CBD to my kids? And what about if they're under the age of 18?
Dog and the cat. I know, I've heard all that too. And right now, the exciting thing is you can get online and you can do research. But what we are doing, we want this to be a transparent, quality, top of the market product. And so we are not going to take that onto ourselves. You need to do what you're going to do with this, and rest assured that each dropper has 25 milligrams of CBD from full spectrum hemp extract, not isolate, not broad spectrum, but full spectrum. And I'll tell you one thing. I went to a big seminar here a couple of weeks ago, and they had a veterinarian there. Dogs are more sensitive to it. And I won't tell you about the positive things that he found in his studies. We have to leave that research to other people, but don't. But he is experimenting with that. Don't dose them by weight as you would a person, because they are more susceptible or more sensitive to it. But for our product, we are going to stand We can't recommend that, and we're gonna stick with over 18. And I think about it with a drop or two. There are so many great topical studies, and people add this to existing products that they have, and joint pain and skin conditions. And I'll tell you what, you have a computer, get online and see all the remarkable things that are coming out of this, and you have the starting material in this bottle to add to whatever you want to do. So it's definitely a great product.
So, Tom, the last question, I'll touch on a couple of others as I kind of close out the call, but the extraction process, a lot of people ask that question, and maybe you can just touch briefly on our extraction method, just based on our Sisel Safe philosophy and maintaining our standards.
Okay. So what we did at first when we were looking at this, it was there's different ways to extract. Hexane, butane, propane, a lot of solvents that are used in the industrial chemical business. And a lot of those were used at first. And as they came of age and, people were talking about we're going to be consuming this, how do we know if it's pure? CO2 extraction was very popular, but it takes a lot of energy to produce CO2, which is just dry ice. So it's not as very friendly product. And the first samples that we had, that's where we had gotten our product from. But even through that process, the end of that process, you have to basically wash it, dilute it with food-grade ethanol, and go through a process called winterization, to where they let it cool, and then they bring out the unwanted, any plant parts or anything come out of that point, and then you remove the ethanol from it. Well, a simpler process that didn't consume so much energy, was more environmentally friendly, was just to extract it with alcohol from the start. And so that's what we're doing now. We have a good alcohol that it is extracted from the plant, and at that point, the alcohol is removed, and we have the resin or the full spectrum hemp extract that is left. And then we go through a process called decarboxylation. And what that means is warming it up, not too much, because if you get too hot, you remove the terpenes, which terpenes have a real biological benefit for us. If you get too hot, those come off, and they're part of the analysis too that you can see when you scan the QR code. By heating it to a certain level, you change from CBDA to CBD, and if you have CBDA, that does not connect to the receptors, and by doing the decarboxylation step, which is simply warming it up, you convert it to that, then it's ready to go.
So, Tom, in closing, is there anything else that you would like to add that we haven't talked about? Maybe anything that potentially popped up in your mind that you thought, what, I should have touched on that? Because I'm telling you, I was literally taking notes, trying to keep up with the information. I'm going to have to go back and listen to this recorded call because of the way your mind works, trying to keep up with all of this information, folks. I hope you were able to keep up with it, but if not, this call is recorded and you'll have a chance to listen to it. But Tom, any final words that you want to hit on maybe you missed as you think back on the call?
Well, I'm trying to think of, the last 2.5 years all in 30 minutes. Now, we have some other things that we're doing. We've got Jason's going to do a fantastic webinar and go through a lot of these points, plus additional information coming up. And we're going to talk about it over and over. If there was one time out there you thought, I'm going to put an extra half hour to an hour a day in promoting a product that has hundreds of millions of dollars in advertising out there, and if I had the one product that was the quality product, rest assured on that, because I have vetted this out for a very long time and didn't think it would even come to fruition, but it had such dynamic results in what they were showing. I just, every time there was a vote in a state government or in the federal arena, or the Farm Bill, was finally done 12. That was huge. And mean, it was a roller coaster of emotion for me because I thought, here is something that has a great benefit. Time is of the essence because over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, businesses are going to be built by those who have a quality product because now all the legislation is cleaning out. Over the next year, you're going to see it's going to clean a lot of them out. But you stand right here at the starting gate to build the type of business that you want. And we'll keep putting out more information on it. And we're going to add to this line. You'll see we do other things, other forms and stuff as we bring those out. But right now is the time to get busy and get out there and build a dynamic business on a proven product that has incredible results.
Well, Tom, thank you so much for being on the call tonight. I know that this, you've got a hot product like this. There are a lot of questions that come up, and you literally have answered every one of them that I've had. I don't know if anybody has any other questions that are out there. Not that we're going to open up the lines right now, but if you have some, let us know. Like Tom said, we want to add to and continue to give you more information. We've got experts on site. As a matter of fact, as Tom mentioned, Jason Goff, our Director of Global Marketing, will be on a webinar on Thursday night, which is April 4th, our Thursday night in America, at 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time. There was an email that was sent out. It has all of the pertinent details on how to log into that webinar. I can guarantee you can rest assured you will get additional information from that webinar that you may not have been able to pick up as Tom was talking tonight. Again, folks, this is what I live with every day and have for the last over 10 years now, is the way Tom Jr.'s brain works. As you can hear, is just absolutely amazing. Phenomenal brain that just thinks a little bit differently than most of us can and will ever think. And that's okay. That's where you get the information, the science, a lot of details behind it. You know, I've asked him a number of times what's the difference between, full spectrum hemp, broad spectrum hemp, CBD isolate, etc. He talked about it on the call, but I guarantee you'll have to go back and listen to it to pick it up because the way he explained it was quick, but it's just the way his mind works. So I want you to know that Jason Goff will be doing that webinar Thursday night, April 4th, 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You'll see the webinar information and pertinent details in your inbox on your email. We'll send out a blog. We'll make sure that it's on a quick blast on our text message send out. So just be ready and prepared for that information. But Tom Jr., thank you so much. I'm getting text messages from all over the U.S. and Canada thanking us for this call, because this is so important and everybody is so excited about this product. And like you said, take an extra hour a day and really start working with this information and take this out, because I guarantee there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt out there. You guys can call it the FUD factor, that people are wondering, okay, so I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm not sure what it is. I don't understand how it works. That's okay. Take this information and explain to them and help them understand it. I've got both of my father and my father-in-law using our product right now. I've got my mother using the product right now. I've got my mother-in-law using the product right now. I mean, these are people that are over the 75-year-old age group. My dad's 78, my mom's 81. They're using the product on a daily basis because of what they're feeling. And I can tell you, my dad is in the medical industry. He's got a medical clinic in Las Vegas. He gets approached by all kinds of different people. There have been people that have brought in a CBD product or a number of CBD products, and he has not had the same reaction that he has with ours for pain and discomfort that he deals with. And I want you to know that's like Tom talked about earlier. Finally, these people are finding a source that actually has a stamp of approval on it from the highest of the highs, which are the Mowers that have gone through and vetted and tested everything about this product. I'm so excited about it. I'm telling you, I got literally calls, text messages, private messages all over whatever medium they could use to get to me to try to ask questions about this phenomenal product. And again, like Tom Jr. said, we kept this thing so quiet, folks. This has been the hardest secret to keep quiet. And Tom Jr. said, I will cut your arms off if you talk about this product, because that's how important it was for us to do a proper launch, go out to a big event, a big venue, and have people get so excited. And now it's up to you, everybody on this call, to go out and do what needs to be done in order for us to have the great success that we know we can have. And as Tom Jr. said, you've got so much positive marketing behind this already that people are understanding the CBD benefits and they're getting excited. They want to go out. They want to use the products. they just aren't sure which one to choose. I would be uncomfortable and confused in the market myself right now. So I got to tell you that I'm going to wrap it up. I was going to talk a little bit about Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. I don't have time for it right now. I want to give you guys an opportunity to jump off the call and be able to start calling people and let them know that the call is recorded and get people on this call, on the recorded call, because I don't want to slow down the momentum of what I'm considering to be one of the top products that I've ever talked about in the history of this company. This has hundreds of millions of dollars in research and information that will start to be uncovered and has been uncovered and will continue to be uncovered over time. You guys have the proper product that's sitting right in front of you right now. I know that there are a couple of states that we can't get it into. I know that Idaho, Kansas, Nebraska, and South Dakota are 4 of those states that Tom Jr. said. They're researching it. They're trying to understand it. They're trying to get their arms wrapped around the benefits and how it works. But there are many states that have accepted it and that have put it into full use and allow companies like ours and our manufacturing facility to be behind what we consider to be a phenomenal new product to hit the market and help so many people with so many different issues that they're dealing with and ailments. And we just want to be there with a quality product that people can stand strong and with integrity, talk to their friends, their associates, their family members, their neighbors, and have conversations about an amazing, amazing product. And for those of you that are outside that I know they're on this call because I can see your phone numbers, I know we've got people in Canada. I know we've got people in New Zealand. I know we've got people in Australia. I was just there in Japan, Australia, New Zealand, everybody screaming for it because I happened to be out while this was launched and everybody went crazy saying, when can we get it? And of course, it just comes down to state and country laws. We're working through it as quick as we can to try to ensure that we have the opportunity to get product to you as easily and as expeditiously as possible. But I just want you to know that if you were invited to this call, make sure that you follow up with the person that invited you. And if you invited somebody to the call, gosh, make sure that you allow yourself the opportunity to follow up with them after you have so much great information that you can follow up with them in regards to this product, our Sisel Safe CBD. Get on the phone with those people, email the information, Facebook it over, share the Facebook. I've got a great one on my VP of Sales, Aaron Renner page. You guys can use that, share it all over the place. It's been shared already a number of times. You guys can use that same information. It's great detail, great information. Go out and start building your business, folks. It starts tonight, right now. If you're in a different part of the world, it starts right now in the morning. So depending on where you're at, because I've just gone through all your time zones, go out, get the opportunity started for yourself. And if there's ever been an opportunity, as Tom Jr. just mentioned, now's the time. Everybody, thank you for participating in tonight's Sisel Connect Call. We do these once a month, the first Monday of every month. And I'll tell you what, these are the calls not to be missed. But you got Milo's call on Monday night going over the wealth builder at 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Invite your friends that want to learn how to build a business properly. You've got Jason Goff's webinar coming up on Thursday, April 4th at 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Get on the phone or get on the computer with him and have a chance to go through a lot of this dialogue again so that we continue to just blast you and overwhelm you with information so that you're relevant and prepared to go out into the world. We look forward to having another phenomenal month of success with you guys. It's been amazing to watch it month over month over month over month, increasing in sales. We're right there with you. The support there. We can't wait to help you guys achieve the dreams and successes that you're looking for. Everybody, have a great night, have a great week, and have a great month. And we'll look forward to talking to you next time. Good night, everybody. Good day, everybody.
This session is no longer being recorded.